Right, so when we last met, you guys have basically unleashed a wild boar into the inn and
No, we
successfully
killed it and made
gutted it and made it into dinner. So after you gut the pig and set up the meat, you settle down to effectively a second full meal. And as sort of like thanks, the innkeeper just does drinks on the house for you. Basically gives you tankards of ale each. So at this point,
I'm going to ask for milk. I'd just like to swap mine for milk.
Yeah, certainly. I've got yak milk, I've got bat milk, I've got pig milk, and I've got chicken milk.
Chicken milk.
Don't ask.
Chicken milk.
Don't ask.
Do you toilet?
I don't think that's milk.
Is that from the female or from the male of the chicken?
I'm assuming the female, but I didn't ask.
Daddy.
I'll go with the yak milk then, I think.
Okay, so he pours out from a barrel, like, what effectively looks to be like alcoholic yak milk, and gives it to you in a tankard.
I gingerly raise it in toast and take a tentative sip.
At least he's not going to tell you to roll a d6 to see if you breathe fire breath or something.
Oh, that's true, that's true.
Okay, so night is basically settling in. So, do you guys want to take your long rest from here?
Yeah.
Guys?
Yeah, settling down.
Okay, so you basically have the choice of these two rooms. So, Marilla, you just meditate in order to get your long rest, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit by the fire or wherever I am and just trance for my 4 hours, and then I would just meditate for the rest silently in prayer.
Okay. But Michele, do you need to sleep or do you meditate as well, being a monk?
Yes, I'm just a little human over here, so I need to actually sleep 8 hours.
Okay. Okay, so you basically settle in for the night. Michele.
Yeah.
As you basically have a strange dream. It's when you were not necessarily like really young, like a child, but sort of like an adolescent, and you were first initiated into the Temple of the Dead. When you were your main role was basically just sweeping the floors and things like that. You remember a time when a hooded stranger came to your temple, and this stranger met with your grandmaster, and they basically spoke about how the sand had dictated that somebody had to die, and that this person, the sand, like a beach,
Sand.
okay, and the grandmaster doesn't question this at all, and basically just says in the religious way that grandmasters do that he would basically assist this person in assassinating whoever this person is to the best of their ability. But you, as like an initiate, knew not to engage with the outside world in a particular fashion without permission. But as the hooded stranger is passing you, he glances at you, and you see under his hood 2 glowing yellow eyes. But other than that, you don't see anything about him.
Right, so is this a memory that I've been dreaming, or is actually a dream?
At this point, you're just sort of like seeing it as a dream. But if you want to give me a wisdom check.
Oh, okay. 18.
Okay. But even though that's got like the qualities of a dream, you do recognise this as one of your memories.
Okay.
So whenever you were younger and in the temple, you remember effectively like a religious assassin coming to the temple and seeking shelter with your temple order.
Was it Docker?
All right. No. Okay. Yeah, I understood. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this assassin just came to the temple for shelter.
Yep. And basically had glowing yellow eyes.
Yep.
Okay. So you waken with the cockerel.
Can I ask how he was dressed? If the memories are clear enough. Brain memory.
What did you get again? You got an 18.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His hood was pointed, and it wasn't necessarily dressed in robes, but he was dressed in a sort of like long-tailed armored outfit. So like his coat sort of like came down to his knees, but it wasn't like a heavy coat. It was more just like long traveling attire, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We sort of think that the outfits that they wear at things like Eton College and stuff like that.
Sure. Okay, I got it. It doesn't have any signs or distinct emblems or something like that. Just plain.
No, this guy, whoever he was very distinctly unidentifiable.
Just
Apart of the bright yellow eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. Try to keep in mind.
Okay. So you guys waken with the sound of the cockerel. And it's pretty clear that the people before you had already sort of like started their day without sort of like waiting up for you. But as you sort of like gather your kit and are breakfasted by the bard in the inn, you quickly realise that there's something very much as afoot going around this sort of like homestead. But everyone's rushing around and you can hear the sounds of arguing coming from outside.
Arguing, like people actually arguing, was just like a really high voice from a town. Like, you know, you walk from through the high street and there's always like people shouting to each other, but they were just talking. Shouting for arguing.
It's loud enough that you can hear it from where you are, and you can recognise it quite distinctly as angry arguing. You're not hearing the sounds of like people rushing to join a fight or anything like that, but you. But this is like the negative form of shouting at people.
Alright. Do you guys hear all the shouting from outside?
I've already gone.
I'd like to ask the girl if she knows what's going on outside.
Is that? She basically just says, oh, "I don't know." I mean, Hector doesn't really like the people here, so it's possible he could have annoyed somebody. It's sort of like what he does, but you know, I'm not necessarily part of this group. I'm just a travelling bard. I'm just here for pay.
Useful as always.
Thank you.
I'll gather my feet. Just head outside then.
I'm
Okay.
going to say I'm standing on some barrels or sitting on some barrels watching,
Okay.
munching on a pig leg.
Okay. So, all right. Give yourself one temporary hit point then. Okay. So as
No,
you.
I didn't attack it, so I don't get them.
Okay. Right, so as you step outside, you're met with the very definitive metallic tang on the air. Okay. Can each of you give me a survival check?
It's on my barrel.
I rolled a 4.
12.
16.
I completely misheard what she said there.
I got an 8.
Do I want to know what I think you said?
Shall we ask Frank?
No. Let's. Okay, moving on.
That's why I was thinking that's a bit of an odd thing for Charlotte to say.
Okay, so Charlotte, you recognise this as the sign of a very particular weather thing. I can never say that word. See, neither can she.
I know it's phenomenon.
That's it. But
I thought you were going to say temperature.
it's a very specific weather event that only ever happens in the Clinging Isles, and you done? And it only ever happens in the Clinging Isles, and it's basically called by the inhabitants as knife rain, where effectively
a knife rain.
knife rain, yep. And it's effectively when rain is replaced with jagged shards of metal.
Okay, where all these metals come from?
Nobody knows, but the sign of it is this metallic taste in the air.
Can I run away and hide inside?
Can if you want.
Or I'm going to tip the barrel and use it like a
Yeah, but
waddle over my head.
Ha.
when Maria Sorlight informs you this is what it means, you recognise this immediately as something that when your people who are out in the deserts are doing their thing and this comes along, they immediately dig underground tunnels in the dunes to hide from.
Yeah, well, I'm walking. I've tipped the barrel over and I'm wandering off with the barrel.
Okay, so as a result, everybody in the town is basically just rushing around, and the people are trying to toughen up the thatch roofs with either additional layers of thatch, in some desperate points throwing dirt on the roofs, and in some cases large branches from the surrounding trees and bushes.
I'm gonna join and help them.
Yeah.
And
I'll
just
do-
start adding as much stuff to try and pile on as many houses as possible to protect these people.
Is that my foot? I think it's on my head.
Okay, so as you're doing this, you can see that a courier has come through town on horseback. His horse is very tired, but he appears to have galloped here. He's basically galloped here on his horse, and is now. But he's taking a moment to discuss something with the guard captain. But then, as soon as you guys move towards him, he carries on his journey.
Sorry.
So the innkeeper, the man named Hector, is basically arguing with the guy who owns this building, the farm owner. So the farm owner is arguing with the innkeeper. For the love of the fish, Hector, it's just one day, an hour, if that. And then Hector, don't you quote the fish at me, Earthling. They're your animals, and I ain't having them shitting all over my floors. We told you to set yourself up with a covered roof, and you told us shit for it. So keep your beasts in your home, or leave them out here to be skewered. I don't care.
I'm trying to think what do we help mediate the situation? Or do we just let them...
Is it
I think
livable?
an excellent place would be the temple. I don't like him. We should take the animals to the temple.
like that idea. I'll inject and sort of shout over the top. The temple.
You gotta apply your giant's might to it.
No, I'm just gonna sort of stand behind Hector.
So the farmer just like sees you towering over him and just like, Hector, behind you, there's a dragon behind you. If I had a shilling for every time somebody told me that, you ain't robbing me this time, you little halfling.
So I'm just gonna give it.
So Hector
You should
basically looks up at you and is like, so you weren't kidding. Alright. What do you want, Ashling?
Well, now that you mention it, do I get that shilling?
Yeah.
I'd like to ask him just what's going on. What's gonna break it down with good old Hector.
Well, this Earthling right here, when we first settled here, he decided he wanted to have the farm animals, and we said yes. But we told him that if he was going to have the animals, he would need to have a barn for whenever the frigging knife rain happens. But he said, no, he wouldn't need it. The knife rain doesn't happen at all. It's just something that people make up, and now the knife rain has come, his animals are exposed, they're going to get themselves killed, and now he wants to put them in my barn.
Sure, we can find another place to put these animals, right?
That's what I'm telling.
I recommend the temple sounds good. It's surely one of the more secure buildings, I'd have thought, so it would be excellent to keep your precious livestock safe.
That's the thing, that's what I said. But he's also got the biggest house out of all of us, so technically speaking, all of his animals could sit in there for at least an hour. But if he does want to put them in the temple, the priest is charging him 5 silver for it.
Well, I've got another solution. I can turn everything into soup. How does it work?
I can't tell if you're threatening me or not, Arsling.
He's basically saying he's going to cook all the meat.
Does the town not need the livestock?
Of course we do. Of course we do. Where do you think I get the chicken milk from?
Well, why don't you take the animals in? I'm sort of
Want
like
to know
saying
that?
this from under my breath.
Don't get me wrong, I would if I could, but I've got fire pits in the inn, and it's cramped in there with everybody else in there. I ain't gonna have room for all these animals, and they're gonna be shitting all over the floor. And guess who's got to clean all that up?
Can I ask you?
You can try negotiating with the priest.
Okay. Well, it's for him to do that, but instead he's arguing with me about whether or not I should put them in me inn.
Well, I think the inn is smelly and dirty enough. We don't need any more animals inside. We can words with the priest, or otherwise you just bring them inside in the house.
But you do what you like, Arsling. I need to start prepping the inn for whenever the bloody metal comes. He sort of pushes. He tries to push past you, David, but he sort of more bounces off you, and then with collected dignity, he manages to get back to the inn.
Alright. Turk, you like to be our man of mediation. Would you like to have a word with the priest and see if he can take the animals in?
I'm the less charismatic person in this group.
You're also the less
I don't
likely
know.
threaten to
I
kill him.
don't know about
Everyone
that.
check their charisma.
I could always kill him. He wouldn't complain if he was
I
dead.
have a +1 to charisma. I'm base level 13.
I have a
Why
minus
don't we
one.
send Why don't we send
Same.
Marielle to do it? I mean, come on, face to face.
But well, she
I'm
might
Ema.
relate on the whole related religion thing.
Yeah, we did
Also-
have a couple of clashes, but I mean, if you want, I can try.
Come on, let's do this together. Maybe we can. I don't know.
That's unsmart, yeah.
Can they give it to advantage because they're both monks and nuns? That sounds so weird saying that out loud.
I want that on a t-shirt, please. The first merch.
I can just imagine it like Dungeons and Dragons, the movie, monks and nuns.
I'm on a boat.
This will work because they're a monk and a nun.
It should be the first merch that's ever released.
Okay, so you basically come to the building which is effectively the church. In comparison to all of the other buildings, this is the only building which is solid wood. So basically, like, all of the other buildings are basically wood for the foundations, wood for the walls, and then thatch for the roofs. This is solidly wood all around.
Okay.
I've got a question. Do we know if the pronounced rain ever destroyed some buildings around? Or
unknown or let it go?
Give me.
Huh?
What sort of test would I do?
story? I mean, history?
Yeah, history, that's it, thank you.
I've got 0 on it. Oh, okay, 16.
Okay. But against things like stone and potentially wood, but you would be fine. But for things like thatch, you're pretty much kissing goodbye to the building.
Do people tend to get hurt if they're in the thatched buildings?
But you do know of cases where like the roofs have collapsed in and people have then been impaled by the rain, or people who have been caught out because they couldn't get shelter in time. But this is very much like this is sort of like a tornado level event.
Okay, I have an idea of what we could try to do. Protect everyone.
From the rain. And
In the rain. If we kind enough, imbued with our God's holy blessing, and perhaps a gold piece, we could get the priest to let everyone in, including the animals. Protect everyone. And if he says no, then we will...
I can set fire to it.
We can say that the gods are angry, and we set fire to the building.
She says with unlimited enthusiasm.
I was like, no,
I absolutely love this plan.
But that just makes noise.
What could go wrong? And I say that with absolutely no doubt, not understanding that it could go wrong.
oh,
While standing right next to a guard.
Oh, I don't.
I'm
say
hiding
that
it.
to a
Can I
guard.
catapult this storm away?
No.
I don't think I could catapult the metal.
Okay.
well, honestly, I don't have nothing to do with those people and the animals. It's just the rain. We can all wait inside the houses. Wherever they come from, they just go in the houses and stuff. And when he passes, What happened to the animals is them fools. If they wanna take care of the animals, you just bring them inside the house and then just shut up.
Well, we
Okay.
could still try to bribe.
All right.
Can I flick
I feel like
Penny
this,
at Marola and just sort
This
of
area of
arrow
the world
shot?
is rather costly.
You can give her a gold coin if you want for this.
I'm just blinging it from my barrel. I found a little peephole and I'm like, pop.
Okay, so deduct a gold piece from your inventory then.
And then with
Marilla,
that,
if you
I'm
want
gonna...
to add a gold piece to yours.
Yep. And then with that, I'm gonna go into the temple, holy symbol
You're
blazing.
gonna
Put
have a
on.
bite tonight.
Yes, I want
Ready.
so one of those slow motion bits where you got like this heavy rock song in the
What are you
background.
talking about? It's the bit where they walk
Yeah,
in
but
the
she
pub all
doesn't
gangster
look
with all their heavy
intimidating.
chains and their hip-hop hat on backwards and all that.
She's got a really soft, happy look in her face, as if nothing can go wrong.
Everything will probably go wrong.
100%.
Okay, so the priest appears to be doing something behind the altar, and it appears to be something highly personal because he jumps out of his skin whenever he sees you, and he's tidying up his robes.
Is there a child underneath?
Oh no!
But what is it? What is it? The sister person, elf. thing?
Hi! Well,
Blackmail!
yes. So, whatever you were just doing, I'm sure is probably against the god's will, and I think as a generous token to the society that you live in and to your faith in the gods, you should allow all the animals and people to take shelter during the knife rain, because out of the good of your heart and probably your dirtied hands or whatever, I'm not entirely sure, you should do it. I insist.
So the woman sort of like crawls out from behind the altar. He was like, I should probably go, and just rushes off.
Varela tries to keep her cool, has gone very red in the face.
Give me a deception check.
Deception. Do I add to deception? Oh no, not good. That's a 4.
Okay, so how do you want to roleplay failing to keep a straight face in this regard?
Just slaps her face in orange and her beetroot.
Her face is just gonna get redder and redder until the tips of her ears start doing. It's gonna go like down her neck, underneath her clothes, and she's just gonna go. Oh, no, you could.
Lorela is now beetroot.
Yeah.
So
Or you could not.
she came to me for confession. She was worried about being an adulterer, so I asked her to perform the activity that she was concerned about.
Oh, of course. You gave him a good tip.
What was that, McKenna?
That was a good tip.
Like, alright, let's carry on.
Oh no.
It's 30 something now.
So, so what is it that you want?
Well, and I'm gonna get the gold coin out. Be like, with a little bit of love from the gods, you should shelter everyone in this town, guards, animals, all. Or don't get the shiny, and the gods will be mad.
Well, I can't possibly shelter everybody in here. I mean, I could certainly have the animals in here, but I couldn't have all the people and the animals.
Well, fine then. The animals and the elderly and children.
As far as I'm aware, everybody's going to be sheltering in the inn. It has a basement, so should the roof collapse, they'll go into the basement and hide there.
Okay then.
But
Just
How do I know you're not lying about the basement?
well, you could ask the barman. He's quite proud of the said basement. So whenever we discovered it, we found several bones down there, and they were obviously the bones of our Saint Lord Cuthbert, and we blessed the town, and hence why I'm here. This is clearly a holy site.
I'm gonna look around the temple and out of the door or any windows with like a look of, yeah, this is a really holy place kind of look of disgust and sort of like that. And I'm gonna be like, of course this is a holy place.
So, I shelter the animals here, and you'll keep your silence?
Yes.
I'm gonna my hands to my side with my hands slightly behind my back, cross 2 of my fingers, so like like the like where you cross your fingers, and I'm gonna go, yes, 100%.
Okay, give me another deception.
Ah. Oh, better, 16.
Okay, that was enough. It's like, very well, I'll go talk to the farmer. I do keep forgetting what his name is.
John.
Barrowman.
Farmer Armin.
John Barrowman the farmer.
Oh god!
Don't tempt him.
Oh god! I've got this vision of John Barrowman in dungaree suit, but that's all he's wearing now.
I am in love with that. And then I'm gonna leave the temple and be like, guys, this place is not holy.
What do you mean that it's not holy?
I'm
Holy?
gonna like usher everyone in so I can whisper to them.
I'll see the panic on her face.
Oh no!
Frank needs to know about everything not holy, let's be honest.
I'll tell Frank as well. He deserves to know, I guess.
Frank will love this.
I deserve to know. I deserve to know what exactly. I am of course highly religious, and I do enjoy a good bit of holiness.
We should tell
Both
Frank
front
to visit
and
the
back.
priest.
Well, I went into the temple to talk to the priest, and well, I caught him in a, and she flushes really red again, in a compromising position.
Compromising, you say? Was he giving or receiving?
Was he a child?
No, it was
No, they were definitely
That would be so wrong.
no, it was just
alright, Catholic Church.
no, it was just one of the women from town.
Well, I don't know exactly what you mean by that because I've never acted in that way. But there was someone underneath the table and his ropes were open and he was very flustered and I said I wouldn't tell anyone, but of course I was going to tell you guys.
Well, in that case, I must investigate this at once.
Which
one did you say it was again?
I'm going to point in the opposite direction to a random person. In complete flabbergasted panic.
So he goes
As
over
you
to one
do
of the
that,
guards.
like, direct
So
him
I
to a
understand
wall.
that you've been violated by the priest. And the guard basically just like looks at him very disgustedly and is like, "Put some clothes on."
Yes, apparently Morella is Elsa.
No.
She's pointing at her character and saying, "It's Elsa."
Yeah, you're.
No.
Okay, Charlotte, you've now been promoted to Elsa.
I am very much happy with that. I love Elsa.
Yes.
I love Frozen.
Maybe we shouldn't have turned the doll off then.
Okay, so the guard basically just looks at him and just goes, "Put some clothes on, for God's sake." And Frank just takes a step back aghast and is like, "Very well," and then disappears.
Enough.
So the guard basically comes over to you and is like, "You saw that, right?"
So
No.
what?
Oh,
Oh, look, a badger with a gun.
what's a gun?
I don't say that.
There was a naked man saying that people were being violated.
Yeah, that's the
Can
priest. I
can
say
sort of,
under my
like,
breath.
My barrel, so I can't sort of only see that peephole. Can I sort of like walk up and stand behind him?
I mean, none of you saw that.
Nope.
I'm gonna like, can I like poke him in the back with my tail through the other end of the barrel?
I see he looks around, he's like, "What did that? What did that?" Ugh, I hate army life, it's driving me insane. He goes back to his
So he
position.
doesn't have to do dexterity save because I'm behind him in a barrel.
Okay, so you've sorted out the animal issue. Is there anyone else that you would like to try and assist before the rain comes?
Does anyone else need assistance?
Oh,
I thought Maya just told everyone to shut up.
Suppose just make sure everyone gets into the basement safely.
Okay, so
I said I would like to go to. I would like. We should have a look at the basement to see if it's properly secure for everybody. And plus, I'm curious about the bones that's been found.
okay, so who wants to do that with Kelly?
I'd like to sort of stay around and help anyone who needs sort of help.
Okay. No.
I'm just
Reinforce
crawling around in my barrel.
Okay.
I'm staying in my barrel.
Charlotte, what are
I'll
you
come
doing?
help.
Okay.
Come have a look at this basement if it's so holy.
Okay, so I'll do David and Natalie first. So these guys seem to have everything in hand. They're basically been piling dirt and effectively like broken pieces of wood and dirt from the ruined building behind it and covering the roof with it. So that will basically take the damage from the knife rain as opposed to the actual roof. These guys, however, are examining the farmhouse and looking quite hopeless.
Can we go over and ask what's wrong without coming out the barrel?
You sure? David, are you going over there with him?
Yeah, I'll notice that she's rolling with some sort of intent and follow to make sure she doesn't cause trouble.
Everyone, she just sort of runs over and is like, whoa, watch it! Like in Skyrim, whenever you sprint past everybody.
Yeah, that, and then me following behind. Sorry, sorry. It isn't a barrel, sorry.
Okay, so so yeah, the guards are basically looking at the homestead roofs and not looking particularly hopeful. And one of them pipes up, like, maybe we could make some rafts and take cover under the bridge. And the sergeant, who's basically this guy, who's significantly older than the others, he doesn't necessarily look at the person who spoke, and basically just inclines his head to the other one, the archer, and basically goes, Vass, what's my opinion of green soldiers making their thoughts known? You dislike it, sir. And Vaz, why do I dislike it? Because you were fighting the Danes and making smart decisions when our fathers' fathers were sucking on their tits, sir. That's right. Now tell the Green why the bridge is a stupid idea. Because of trolls, sir. Trolls indeed. And if you take shelter under a bridge in a storm, it brings trolls along, and they terrorize and eat people. And we don't want that, do we? No, sir. So what do we do, sir? Vass, how far away is the next bridge? 20 miles, sir. We'll get to it, Greenie. Sir? Keep your trap shut. You'll be patrolling between here and the city. And there... You'll be patrolling between there and the city. I wonder if you could get back before the knives start falling. The sergeant basically shakes his head and pulls on the hair in his neck. These houses are a lost cause. The bridge is fucked and we'll be lucky it remains standing after the rain. Leave our buckets, catch the shards, and we'll take shelter in the inn with the others. When the roof caves in, we'll move into the cellar. He looks at you guys. What do you want?
Can we help?
No, I don't think so. You're the strangers that arrived in town last night, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, I hate to say it, but you're pretty much stuck here for the rest of the day and night. There's no shelter between here and the city for at least a day's travel. I mean, you might make it, like that fool on the horseback there, but you get caught in that, well, you'll be well and truly fucked.
I'm in a barrel, so I'm okay.
Yeah, I noticed that. What about you, big guy? You think you can
He's
stand
a
up?
dragon.
Can you stand up against rain?
I've seen what it's done to people. That's not for anyone to stand against.
Well said. You'll be taking shelter in the inn then with us.
Aye.
Well, tell me, big guy, do you have a shield?
Of course. Attached to my back. Always.
Is that? I don't actually know if you have a shield in your inventory or not.
I think I do.
But you got your
Sure,
cloak of
I've got-
protection, so I suppose that would count as a shield, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, cloak of protection is there as well, but I'm sure I have a. Yeah, I've got a shield that I'm just kind of like wearing on my back.
Good. Keep it close. Should any idiots venture outside during the rain, we'll be using our shields to get them back in.
Should we try and get everyone just into the inn to begin with?
With spare bits of armour.
If we had the stuff to spare, but fortunately, me and my boys, what we have on our back is literally all we have.
But you don't all need to run outside to get stragglers in, do you?
True. We'll be using our shields to reinforce the inn roof long enough for us to get in the basement if things go to shit.
I have no other suggestion then.
Can we
Well
try
said.
and like herd everyone into the inn to begin with and just focus on reinforcing the roof?
That's what we're doing, but a lot of people invested their entire lives in this farmstead, so we're going to try and help them protect what we can.
Well, you're a better captain than the first I met.
Oh, let me guess. Young little ass fucker of a little shit tried extorting you for money in order to convince him to do his job?
Something along those lines.
Yeah. These young fuckers. Hate them all. Don't I, Vaz? Yes, sir.
Understandable.
You fought at Beamfield, didn't you?
Aye.
Yeah, I thought I recognised you. That was a battle. Not my first, obviously, but that was a hard fight. I was part of the advanced squad. Where were you?
With the King's Guard.
Yeah, that was good. That's good. That's good. But bit of a fourth wall break. I have written up what the all the different battles are, so I'll send that to you guys after this session, so that you know what I'm talking about with these
That'll be
battles.
Okay. It sounds silly, can I stuff the rug I stole into the ceiling to try and help pad it out?
You can. You can. I can't guarantee the rug will still be there whenever the rain finishes.
That's fine.
Okay.
How much AC does the rug have?
I don't know, I asked. It's just sort of typed in there, it's not even a D&D rug, it's just the rug I stole.
Okay, so Turek and Morela.
Hello.
So you basically enter the inn, and the bartender. So the innkeeper is basically standing on the tables, and he's basically stuffing, basically holes in the ceiling with new bits of thatch, if that makes sense. While the bard is basically just wandering around, just trying to appear useful.
Is there any windows in here?
Was that okay?
Is there any windows in here?
There are a couple of windows, but they're in the horizontal walls as opposed to in the triangular roof.
They're on the roof instead of on the wall.
Yes, but basically the windows are along the vertical walls, and then where it goes into the roof, it slopes up into triangles. So all of the windows are in the vertical walls, as opposed to in the diagonal roof.
Well, I pointed out the windows, and I say, well, maybe it's a good idea to cover up the windows as well.
But you would think so, but just as long as you don't stick your hand out of a window during knife rain, you're usually fine.
You look like someone who knows a little bit more than me about it. Can I ask you a few questions?
Well, I hope this answers your question. And he basically holds up his hand where he's lost his fifth and fourth finger. This is why you don't stick your hand out a window during knife rain.
Ooh. I got it.
But go ahead, Arsling, what's your question? Grab some thatch and fill up the corners while you ask.
I'll also help by stuffing thatch everywhere.
So yeah, basically, how
Scavenge
often
up any
does
sort of
the
like
rain?
wood to like put on top and sort of like help prop it up, or
Sorry, both of you spoke at the same time. What did you say, McKelly?
I was carry on with the question, but please, guys, don't worry. Talk.
Okay, so David, what did you say?
if can I sort of like from outside scavenge up any sort of like extra wood and stuff to help like reinforce like the roofing, or
Yeah, so basically, where this settlement was once significantly bigger, at the size of an actual village, but it was basically raided and then burned down to the ground. So basically, where all of these blackened squares are basically the ruined wooden foundations of the Old Testament. So you can basically pillage that for spent pieces of wood.
okay, cool.
Okay.
I will proceed to do that and sort of help to reinforce the in roof.
Okay. So McKelly, what was your question?
My question was, how often does this kind of peculiar rain falls?
Well, I don't think it really follows a particular pattern, Arsling, but it's usually once a month. I mean, loads of people hate the knife rain for obvious reasons, but there are those who see it as a real blessing, you know, because as you are probably aware, there's not many sources of metal in the Clinging Isles, so the knife rain is basically our main source of metal, as it were. The knife rain doesn't just like disappear whenever it hits the ground. Oh no, there'll be jagged pieces of metal all over this place. You gather it up, you put it in a smelter, and immediately you've got steel grade iron.
Okay, this is really fascinating. You know, when I'm from, I never heard such a things. You know, so
It's not
mainly I was
nice.
just really curious. And tell me more. Does this metal makes noise when it falls? Like by the time they not before it hits the ground, but actually when it's in the sky and falling down, does it make any noise?
And tell me something, Arsling. Have you ever been in a hailstorm? And I mean an actual hailstorm, the sort of thing that if you step out you get concussed.
Um, well, I can say a few years ago, back where I'm from, um, we had a hailstorm. Big like the hails were big like tennis balls. So yes, I do understand what you're talking about.
I don't know what a tennis ball is, but you've been in one
Oh,
of those, then you'll know the sort of sound that the knives make. It basically just sounds like normal rain, but it's only whenever the pieces actually start falling into the ground and into the back of people's skulls that you know to take cover.
and do you notice something strange in the sky, like something like massive clouds or something bigger than a cloud, or more distinct?
Well, but I've never been in a knife rainstorm and the sun shining all merry and bright and all that. Uh, Dark clouds always come along just as any other storm, but you know, there may be normal rain, there may just be knife rain, there may be thunder and lightning, there may even be gale force winds, but at some point the knife rain will come. The nip in the air doesn't lie, after all.
So how long do you think we have until the rains happens?
Well, the knife rain will come when the knife rain comes, and worrying about whenever it does arrive isn't gonna not make it come any faster. Every minute that we have put to fill up the thatch and reinforce the roofs is a second longer than we had before. So that's how I see it. And then whenever everyone's done, they'll come into the inn and we'll sit here and wait, tell stories, and burn through my supply of alcohol because, of course, as the king's law says, when knife rain comes, charity prevails. He spits.
Understood. So you guys already used your bunker, right?
You mean the basement? Yeah,
Yes.
they'll
Sorry.
probably go down there. I mean, there's enough room for pretty much everybody. I mean, with the additions of yourselves, two of you may need to wait on the ladder or right underneath the hatch, but we should all be able to fit in.
Okay, understood. Last question, and then I'll leave you in peace. My friend here, Mariella, heard that you found the first time that you look inside, you did find some bones. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. But I mean, this particular building, and he sort of like gestures around with a piece of thatch in his hand. This used to be, I don't think it was the Lord's house, but it was someone important, and they had an underground vault. And whenever the Danes came, they went down in their vault to protect all of their goods, but didn't do them any good. They were slaughtered down there, and all of their treasures taken, their bodies left to rot and turn to dust. Then whenever we turned up, we uncovered the vault, obviously looked for the treasure, but there weren't any in there. But then that Father Willibald bloke person, but he apparently proclaimed that the male bones were some saint or other. Yeah, the one that is celebrated for chasing off the swans from the harvest field. Yeah, that bloke. But he proclaimed it to be him, and he was named. And mysteriously, he was named the bishop of this here region of Aqua Evadia.
Daphne said doesn't sound holy to me.
Well, just be careful how close you stand to that bloke. I understand he puts the holy in unholiness, if you get my meaning.
Yes, 100%. I don't want to say witnessed it first time because I don't like to throw people under the wagon. But I can definitely agree with you on that. Always make sure you knock before you enter the temple.
I
I
gave
think you're
up.
supposed to knock every time you enter in a room, honey.
Well, I gave up on temples a long time ago, but I'll keep that in mind.
Temples can be wonderful.
Well, put it this way, and he climbs down from the table. Whenever me and my men were fighting the Danes, and we alone stood against their actual horde, and our shield wall was all that stood between Aqua Evadia and complete oblivion. Do you know who the priests thanked for the day's work? I'll give you one
Probably
clue.
the gods.
It weren't us. It weren't us soldiers.
I could say, well, if me and my temple were here, then we would definitely thank you for your work, because gods don't control everything. They are just guides a lot of the time. They bless us, but that does not mean they are the ones behind all the work. We still have to do the body. We still have to do the bodies. That's not what I meant to say. We still have to do the work.
I know what you mean. You should have met an old friend of mine. He died in the shield wall, but you would have liked him. He understood the difference between what prayers can do and what a good axe can do.
I mean, I still think prayers can do a lot, but yes. Agree to disagree.
Well, that's enough of us standing around here talking, Archlings. Either help fill up the thatch or leave me to my work.
Can I push through the hole? Can I all this time the final unit of stunned because I just pushed the rug through the tiny hole in the barrel.
Your lizard appears to be, well, shall we say, hit in the head.
Oh no, he's like that. It's normal. He got really excited sometimes, so give it time.
Okay, so is there anything else that you want to do before you guys take shelter?
No. keep my barrel.
Yes, you can keep your barrel.
Yay.
Does she gain AC from the barrel?
Do I get any additional armour with the barrel?
Ashwin got +2, I think. Yeah, +2.
Okay, I get +2 to my armour for having a barrel.
Okay, so let's move everybody inside. Can you guys move away from the doorway, please? Okay, so about 11 o'clock in the morning, which, given that you guys woke up at the crack of dawn, is quite far away. So it's been about like 4 or 5 hours. First, you hear just sort of like the tinkling sound of sort of like effectively like wind chimes, and basically just like the sound of normal rain, but without the actual water falling from the sky. And then the captain basically shouts out a bellow from the church, and he's like, "Knife rain, take cover!" And he basically escorts some of the people over, holding a shield over his head, and some of his men are also doing that. And the priest basically shouts from the temple and is like, "The women will stay with me."
Puss.
The animals can stay with you.
Isn't that what he meant by the women?
Oh.
Well, he could be meaning female animals.
Are we just gonna let the priest take the women? I
Really don't feel like that's a good idea.
So the sergeant basically turns to you and is like, "I can't risk my men going out there deciding to fall and fall. But if you're willing to go, I'll go with you."
Who has shields? I have a shield.
Do you?
I do, yeah. I'm not actually sure why, but I do. I don't have it equipped, but I have it.
Well, you may want to, because it gives you a +2 to your
Yeah, that's
armor
a smart
class.
idea. I should do
Not
that.
having a shield.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a barrel, so.
Okay, so do you two want to go and rescue the women from the priest?
Do they want to be saved from the priest? I just washed the wrong child's face.
Okay.
I meant to wipe the big one. I wiped the baby and then wondered why the baby was chewing a baby wipe.
Okay, so you guys go rescue the women?
Wipe your face.
I'm staying inside.
Good girl.
I mean, did they seem like they went in there willingly?
That's what I just asked.
In the commotion, you didn't see.
Thank you.
I think we should at least check it out. Just for safety, because I don't think also the priest should be there alone. I feel like the animals should stay in there and everyone comes to the inn.
Well, that building is safe.
That is true, but I did make a deal with him.
If she's insisting on going, I'll follow her.
I don't mind. It's up to
Over
you.
my head.
What are we doing?
Okay, right. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, can you give me a dexterity saving throw?
No.
Yeah, that's 1.
So, did you get a 1, did you say?
No, so I was wondering if I added anything to Dex. Does a 7 do it?
Okay, so basically you're trying to sort of like jump out of the inn and then sort of like tuck and roll with a shield above your head. You manage to jump and sort of like tuck, but not necessarily roll. So, okay, so
I got a 17.
okay, Morella, you're surprisingly okay.
I'm a bigger target, alright?
An impossible tune under my breath as I go.
Okay. Right, how many did I? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. David, you've taken 17 points of damage.
Oh no!
What?
Oh, yeah.
But other
How
than that, you
hurt
managed to
are
get
you?
you manage to get to the other side.
My
But-
barrel
mean, rather
doesn't
here,
look
I'll be
so
honest.
stupid now, does it?
I'd like a barrel.
Okay, so embedded in your shields are effectively like these jagged pieces of metal. But strangely enough, all of them sort of look somewhat lightning shaped. But you can basically see that these are sort of like different shades of metal. So, some are dark grey, some of them have like a reddish tinge to them, others are green, others are sort of like midnight blue.
Marilla, keep a hold of the shards. I want to use my smith tools with them later.
That would be cool. As we enter, I'm gonna quickly pat you on the shoulder and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on you.
That would be much appreciated.
You're gonna get 12 points of healing.
That should be more than enough for me to get back up.
It's just like a little pat, like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have suggested this.
I shook it off like it was nothing. It was okay. I was fine.
So you
Bleeding profusely.
So you enter into the church, and you can basically see that the two women are basically all the pews have been pushed to the side, and all the animals are just sort of like just standing aimlessly inside the in the church building, and the two women are basically just sitting in front of the altar, and the priest is sort of standing at the altar, basically reading his book, and then Frank appears behind him and then whispers in his ear, "I've been a very bad boy, Father."
I'm tempted to say leave the priest there with Frank.
Jesus.
Would this be a funny time to use a wish?
What do you want to wish for? You can use your wishes whenever you want.
Time. I
wish to be level 20.
I can see this going something along the lines of, I wish the priest was in the rain. And suddenly the roof blows off.
Oh, I wouldn't do it like that. I would be cruel. I'd just be like, to leave Frank with him or something.
So Frank basically looks over to you and says, "You don't have to wish for that, darling. I'm very well ensconced where I am."
This is perfect.
But don't worry,
I don't even know what to say.
we've got farm animals, we've got beautiful women, and a lecherous priest. It's the workings of a fabulous novel.
Oh no.
Well, actually, we popped over just to make sure you guys were all okay. And if you wanted to join us in the tavern, you know, it's safe, it's cozy, it's...
It's cozy here, darling. Believe me.
All right, Frank. Don't understand what you meant by the wink, but... Shush.
And he sort of does the indication that he's like zipped his mouth shut, and then pulls out his bra a bit and pretends to drop an invisible key down it. So the women basically say like, "Well, how are we supposed to get to the tavern? The rain started."
Well, we have our
Can we roll some
shields, we
barrels?
can...
Can I push a bunch of barrels to roll across the floor? I'm gonna roll for that.
I did it!
I don't know what I'm rolling. I'm
Give me a strength check.
Can't go
I might
wrong.
need help with strength checks. Where's my strength?
At the top.
Because my strength is minus 1.
There's a strength saving throw if you do the actual one at the top.
Oh. Oh, by the way, it's still work out 14. Oh, no, I got a natural 20, but it's a minus 1.
Okay, so
I've just like miraculously made my barrel multiply and roll out the door and like dong dong as it hits the door at the other side.
well, there's barrels like in this bit, so you basically convince the others to assist you, and they basically work up effectively like a tunnel of barrels between the two buildings.
Barrels are the lifesaver. We'll worship the holy barrel.
Okay, so do you guys want to try and persuade the women to
Get
leave
in
with
the
you, or
barrels.
do you want to leave them to the mercy of Frank?
I don't. No one should be at the mercy of Frank unless they're bad.
Yeah, let's try and persuade them.
Yeah.
Matt, baby, loves you.
Okay, so give me persuasion checks. Well, you can either do 2 persuasion checks, or you can one of you can try to persuade them with advantage.
That sounds good. We could do advantage. Do you want to roll?
Sure.
Wait, what do you get to
I was
persuasion?
gonna say, I've got +2 to persuasion. What'd you get?
I get -1. So
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll roll.
yeah, you.
Okay. I rolled a 3, but I also rolled an 18, so I'm gonna go with
Okay.
the 18.
So the women basically go over and put. Is this safe? These they definitely work.
The lizard survived.
Oh, okay. But you'll be coming with us. You'll protect us in the event that they don't work.
I'll be ferrying you along.
And she basically cozies up to you, as it were, and puts a hand on your scaly chest and is like, "Oh, thank you. Thank you a lot."
Well, alright.
Okay, so give me. Right, so Morella, you would be able to fit in the barrels. David, unfortunately, you wouldn't. So you would need to do.
That's rather
He
unsurprising, I'll be
picks the barrels
honest.
up and just like holds it above his head.
Yeah, so you would need to make a dexterity saving throw.
That's fine. I'm gonna just have a quick check of, like, a couple things. See if there's anything I can do that helps. With
It's alright. I can cast Cure Wounds again.
I was wondering if my giants might affect. No, it's just strength. Okay. Never mind. I will roll a dex saving throw.
Well, I will allow you to use your giant's might to give yourself advantage on a strength-based jump.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Let's do that. I'll use. All right. I'll use one of my giant's might. Let out a bit of a roar and. Okay, so one of my rolls was a 3. The other one was a 15, so I get +1 at dex. Does 16 do it?
Yep, that'll do it. Morella, are you going to go through the tunnel?
Yeah.
Okay, so you both basically make it to the inn, relatively unscathed.
And we left the priest with Frank.
I'm gonna leave. I want to have left Frank with the specific instructions to have had fun.
Sure. I don't think you would need instructions to do that, but sure.
Instructions for what? Right.
Okay, so okay, so done all that. Okay, so using the meat from the previous night, but there's effectively enough food for everybody in the inn to have something of a good meal. It means all of the meat is taken up, but everybody is fed.
That's good.
But all of the windows and the front door are all left open to let the smoke from the fire pits out, because the hole in the roof that was normally used for this has been shut off. So they basically need a way for the smoke to escape. But 2 of the guards are standing by the doors with their shield ready in the event that, for whatever reason, somebody is outside and needs to be brought in. And basically, the rain has been falling for a good sort of like 2-ish hours now, and it's gone to the point that people are now settling in, being used to this idea, and are now just simply chatting with each other. The innkeeper, quite begrudgingly, pours out very watered down tankards of ale and basically just hands it out to everybody, and then settles down on the bench. One of the soldiers basically toasts him, and then basically said, "So, old man, what have you heard on the road?" So the innkeeper basically just drains his tankard, belches. So, well, Earthling, have you heard that the Eye Elves are on the march?
The who?
The Eye Elves.
Eye elves?
Eye Elves. And he points at Morella.
High elves?
Eye Elves.
Hi,
Hi,
elves. You mean?
Eye Elves.
Eye elves?
Eye Elves.
Eye elves?
Hi, elves.
Spelled E-Y-E.
Well, whatever you say it, the knife is, as it were.
Food.
And after the soldiers watch this back and forth, so, no, I didn't. Oh, don't tell me the Vikings have invaded the High Elves too. Nah, not the Vikings, not the Danes, no. They say, in the dead of night, beings are walking out from the sea, and then disappearing in the day. And now, travellers are saying that an order of the undead is wandering the land, and the Eye Elves have mustered a rushed army and are marching to meet them.
Where is this taking place?
In the Eye Elf land, you know?
Can we look at Morella and ask a translation of where High Elf Land is? I'm just like poking my eye out through the hole in my barrel.
Marilla, did you know about this?
Yeah, I'm looking through my list of where I'm from.
You are from Minas Tirith.
That's it.
So it's the western island in the sort of like centre
yeah.
of the Clinging Isles.
I say that.
Yeah, Eye Elf land. Yeah, an army of the undead has appeared there, and the Eye Elves have brought their sea guard together, and they're marching to meet the undead. Though that was a good week or so ago, so I suppose they must be well on their way to fighting them now. Then one of the one of the civilians basically says, "I heard it was mermaids that were fighting. I heard it was bollywogs." "Nah, it be the undead, you stupid arsling." "Do they stand a chance?" "I don't know. Don't really care much. No Eye Elf has ever done me any good. I don't care where an Eye Elf army goes unless they come here to fuck up the heathens." Speaking of heathens, though, I heard that a new warband has landed in Dripsir.
What's Dreps there?
Dripsir is the centremost island, and it's basically the island that's held.
Oh, that's
most of,
the religious island.
yeah. It's basically where
Corruption.
where all of the different cultures can meet on sort of like neutral ground to celebrate their religions. So the captain basically drains his tankard, swallows, and then spits. Fucking savages. There's nothing sacred. Well, we don't know if they be there for raiding, or if they be there for their, whatever you call them, gods. But they're Danes, of course they're there for raiding Earthling. Do you guys want to put anything in on this?
No.
We don't really have a lot to weigh in. We could tell the story of killing the Wendigo.
Rayla's ears are just pink at the tips, and she's got a really sad look on her face because she doesn't understand the bad stigma against her people because she's only ever lived among them. So she's just quiet in the background.
Can I sort of lift the barrel lid and I'm just like
power
patting her on
power
the
on the
head?
head.
She takes it. She hides.
You go hide in the barrel
I'm
with...
offering the barrel lid over her head. I won't give her the barrel, but she can have the. I'm like, this is the.
Oh yeah, I'll go in the barrel that I came across in.
Okay. So you're just in your barrel with Tordon.
Hi.
Okay, so the knife rain lasts throughout the entire afternoon, and it's only whenever the evening is starting to set in that the rain stops. Even with the rain, with the danger past, however, the soldiers are still quite wary and tell people to remain in the house.
As somebody who suffers this from my homeland, do I have any sense of this being over, or is this just a break in the storm?
You can't tell. Only sort of like very specifically attuned warlocks and stuff are aware of how to detect it. But you know that they're right to be cautious because, as you say, it could just be a break in the storm. After an hour, however, it doesn't show any signs of it coming back. So the soldiers give the all clear and very gradually start to go outside. The entire area is completely littered in pieces of metal shards and jagged pieces of metal. Some of which are embedded like point down in the ground. Others have just like clattered uselessly onto the ground. But basically, the entire area is just blanketed in metal.
Can I nick some?
Of course.
I'd like to go out and start collecting some of the metal.
Sure. Both. Are you? Oh, the rest of you getting in on this?
I'll help clean up. I'm gonna prove that high elves can be good.
McKelly?
No. No.
Okay, so those of you who are helping, can you give me sleight of hand checks?
Sleight of hand checks.
21.
I got 20.
Okay, so whatever your score is, that's how many pieces of metal you've picked up.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Do I get any extra from the metal shards in my shield?
Right, I made a calculation about this. Yeah, you can add an additional 8.
Ooh, alright, okay. 28, not bad.
Same with you, Morella.
Awesome. That
No,
makes
sorry,
mine
4,
19.
because you took the barrels back, didn't you?
Yeah, so 15 from me.
Yep. Okay, so the rest of the village seems quite content with just like gathering up the the pieces of metal. But as normality starts to sort of settle in with the inhabitants, the priest stumbles out of the church and I have seen the light, and it was glorious.
Frank, what did you do?
Nothing, shall we say, unholy.
I find that completely out of character.
Well, darling,
Okay.
if you want to put it this way, some saints are revered for their level of devotion to the spirit. I'd like to devote myself to the worship of all things holy, both front, and he strokes your back, and back, and disappears.
Aurela's pink again.
Okay, so it's effectively late afternoon / evening. But so do you basically want to spend the night in the village again?
I mean, if it's already late, we potentially should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it!
Okay.
Well done. What one do you want next?
So I don't think anybody needs to heal up bar David, so if you want to just give yourself the long rest bonus.
Yeah.
And you too, Marilla, because you'll get your spell slots back.
Yes.
Not squares.
Okay, so again, you waken up with the cockerel, which appears to have survived the knife rain. But the metal appears to have all been cleared up in the immediate area. But however, it is now quite foggy.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
In my sleep, I fashioned like leather straps and like things on my barrels, so I can walk with the barrel around and the top of the barrel on my head, so I can just like pop in and out.
So you're basically like the dwarf in the second Hobbit film.
Yeah, but I can like pull my arms and that and disguise myself as a barrel.
Okay.
Does she gain advantage on stealth checks when pretending to be a barrel? This feels reasonable.
Hey, at least I'm no longer trying to be human.
Okay, so but is there anything more that you want to do in town before you head off?
I don't think so. There's not a lot going on here, really, is there?
No, we're good. We can move on.
Yeah.
McKelly?
No. Nothing.
Okay, so the captain and his men have resumed their positions by the bridge, which is basically your way out of town, as it were.
Guess it's time to approach him.
So it was good to see you, mercenary. And so, you did well in Liferane. Not many people would have done what you did, or survived, which I respect you even more for. He holds out his hand to you.
Shake his hand.
You'll be heading to the city then.
That's the intention.
Well, be careful. But we're the only marks of civilization between here and the city now. There is another bridge, which hopefully has survived the rain. But I'll be frank. The road between here and the city is crawling with bandits, brigands, and even the occasional monster. So be on your guard.
I appreciate the warning.
First thing, do we know where we need to go now?
You're basically just following the road to Aqua Evadia now.
Yeah, but what about what the guard says about that place where the monster disappears and the undead?
Right, so the army of the undead is in this country.
Basically, we overheard some rumours.
And there was a raiding party in Dripsia, wasn't there?
Yep.
So that's problems like down south.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so in effectively a day's journey, but if you took a fast pace, you could get to Aqua Evadia in a single day and arrive sort of like in the evening. If you took it slow, you would need to camp effectively where the bridge is. And then if you took it slow, then where the U in Aqua is, you would need to make camp. And a standard day would take you to the bridge.
What do you guys want to do?
I won't mind to go slow to admire the view of this new region, but if you guys want to speed up to there for the evening, I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm going to take it slow. It's going to take us sort of like a trip and...
I mean, plus we don't know the area, so better be aware where we're going, especially after what we've just been said.
Okay. So
That's true, yeah.
So David, you're still in control. So if you want to move 4 spaces, which will basically take you to where the U is. From this point onwards, you're crossing through very, what effectively would be very lush and unutilized country. There appear to be the ruins of several villages as you pass. Effectively, it looks like a great wall of fire. Effectively, has washed over this entire area and has just burnt everything man-made to the ground. But nature has very much taken over some of these areas. So you basically walk through very overgrown ruins and and so very open fields. There are no forests or anything around, but you're very much an open country. So if you had basically been caught out here when the knife rain came, you would have had nowhere to go.
Okay.
Oh, lucky us.
The roads, unlike the village, hasn't been collected of metal. So in some cases it's piled up so high that you have to step off of the road in order to bypass it.
Can we collect any more as we go?
Yeah.
Just want to be collecting shards of this interesting metal.
Those of you who want to, do a sleight of hand check, and whatever you get is how much menu you collect.
Got an extra 6. What a roll.
What do you think you're gonna do with all the shards?
Trade it. Make some
so-
money.
Well, I also have proficiency with smith tools, so I'd like to eventually try and make something out of it, or maybe reinforce some stuff.
I'm sure Toddler is gonna give you a nice fire.
Oh yeah, that's a good shot.
Someone said fire. Did someone say fire? I just pop out top of my barrel.
We may have use of you later. Go hide back into the barrel.
Okay, so
Jeez, that's
as it gets to to sort of like late afternoon, evening, you come across what looks like effectively what had been somebody's home, which had then been burned down and destroyed, but it's still majoritively intact. Like, it's still got something resembling 4 walls and a roof. So if you wanted to spend the night here, you would be relatively secure and warm.
Yeah, I mean that seems like a smart decision.
Yeah.
This is a rundown house. Can I look for anything useful?
Sure. Yeah, you can give me an investigation check. Anyone else who wants to?
Yeah, I was gonna do the same, just to sort of like check the area, because
That's what I was thinking.
It seems that this particular house was attacked. The inhabitants killed, because you come across some burnt skeletal bodies. But then whoever attacked them left, and then somehow the fire was put out prematurely. Whether it was done naturally or if people actively tried to do something about the fire in a sort of like firefighting capacity, you couldn't tell. But hence why the house appears to be in relatively good nick. But the place has been very thoroughly plundered, and in some cases some of the shards have come in through a hole in the roof, so you can gather those up if you want.
Okay. Can I have some fabric too? If there's any fabric stuff lying around.
But everything has effectively suffered some level of fire damage, but there are some like bundles of cloth in wicker baskets which more or less survived the fire.
Can I take them?
You want to just add like basket of fabrics to your
Okay.
did anyone else do investigation?
I got a 15.
Okay.
Got a 17.
Okay, so Morella, you being a cleric, you basically go over to the dead bodies and say a prayer over them. And as you sort of like kneel down, you notice that the floor underneath them appears to be covering up a hollow point.
Gonna point to it and be like, this looks interesting. We should respectfully move the bodies. Maybe have a look.
Okay, and David, you notice that in something in the rafters appears to be a small pouch which has basically been stuffed in between the 2 rafters, and because of its height was able to survive the where it was. Basically, with your height, you're able to just simply pluck it out of the without any help, and there's 5 silvers inside.
Hey, alright. I'll take 5 silver.
Okay,
And I'll
so,
be on the little grave rob.
Michaeli, did you roll any investigation?
Yeah, but don't count it.
You rolled it, but wasn't really wanting an investigation. You just rolled it because you felt left out.
Okay. So,
Just like looking around and see what's going on. Is when the guy says like, "Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I'm gonna do that." So I'm like, "Okay, guys, you gotta give it up."
okay, so Marilla, are you going to... You pointed out that there's something interesting. Are you going to ask for help, or are you going to move the stuff yourself?
I'm gonna just... If I try to move a body, how much will they crumble apart? I want to be as respectful to these bodies as possible, but also moving them out the way.
It's been some time. Like they're a combination of burnt bone and dust. There's no sort of like flesh on them at all. They've clearly been here for a good few years. So basically, if you move them, you will destroy the bodies.
Man!
Catapult!
Well, I can suggest you something. If you get a blanket or a curtain, something,
Or a rug?
A rug, we can roll them inside and drag them out.
Are you willing
Yeah,
to give up your
that
rug
sounds
for...
good.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you basically wrap the bodies and relative dust in the blankets and move them outside, which has now freed up the effectively the false panel which they were sitting on.
Then I'm gonna... And then I'm gonna give a little rap on the door and see if I can open it, like a little...
Okay, where the ground has been particularly destroyed, it sort of just crumbles under your hand, revealing a small chest, basically, but sitting in a small dip in the ground. It suffered the effects of the fire quite substantially, to the point that all of like the colour of it has been burnt black, but it's still intact, as it were.
I'm gonna go, ooh, thank you, Lyria. I'm gonna go, should we open it? Should we be careful?
Yeah, this doesn't appear to be booby-trapped in any way. It's just about bog standard chest, if somewhat fire resistant. Put inside are put two silver bowls. Put what then looks like a third bowl, which has been hacked apart into hack silver, and then about the equivalent of 10 silver in a small pouch.
I'm gonna... silver pieces, like the silver coins, between us, but that's gonna be really hard because it's 10 and that's divided by 4.
You can keep it. It's fine.
You just
Are
pay
you
for everything
sure?
else.
Well, I'm sure if we need something for the group, we can all pitch in anyway.
Hey, milk's on me! Next tavern we find.
Excellent.
Okay, so-
Or anything else, because milk is small taste.
It's too late for fun.
Okay, so if you want to add put the silver coins to your inventory.
What else was in there? Did you say the silver bulls?
Yeah, so there's two.
Yeah, 2 silver bowls.
Yeah, there's 2 silver bowls, and then a third bowl which has been hacked apart to create silver fragments, which, in the society that you're in, can also be used in currency in place of coins.
Okay, should we like just take the bulls with us too?
Nice.
Or just break them down into more silver?
Could be also useful for divination, possibly, so maybe we should keep these 2 intact for now, and, like, if we need them, give them a quick stabby stab.
Sure.
Easy.
What, are you doing your puzzle or not?
Okay, so do you want to take your night's rest here?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
You want to go to bed? Finish your jigsaw puzzle and then I'll take you to bed, okay?
Okay, so put It's a rather uneventful night, to the point that it's suspiciously uneventful. There's no wild animals in the area. This place appears to have just been completely wiped of life. But given that the captain had warned you about bandits and things like that, it's very suspiciously empty. Nothing has happened. There's no birds in the local area, no wild animals. It's very eerily quiet. Okay, so...
can I do like a perception check or like an investigation check to see if like, or like an insight maybe to see if like it's like an unnatural thing that there's no.
If you give me history instead.
History. What do I have for history? +0, so 13.
Okay. This doesn't particularly surprise you, given that the open area of the surroundings. It's most likely that pretty much all of the wildlife in the area got caught out in the rain, and that's why.
Oh, that makes sense. Yikes! All right.
Okay, so morning comes. Nobody's had any dreams or visions or anything. But you will have to delve into your rations because nobody's cooking for you at the moment, unless McKelly, you want to cook something.
I don't think I have. Do I? I don't remember if I stocked up before going.
The meat that you bought into winter, you organised into ration packs, which you gave to everybody. So people can either use up rations, or you can sort of forage for something and make something for breakfast.
I'll say let's use what needs to be used first, and then if I need to cook for everybody, I guess we can arrange something.
Okay.
Can I like check the sort of like immediate area to see if there are any like things that we could take as food that have died in the rain?
Oh yeah, fair enough.
The place is immensely overgrown. So if you do look, you'll be looking with disadvantage.
Yeah, sure, why not? I might as well give it a go, right? So what am I running? Nature or
investigation?
Investigation. Oh. Okay, one of them was a 19, but I have to use the lower roll, which was 4.
No.
That's so sad.
You don't come across any animals. However, you do find the courier who left the village the night before. He's completely and utterly riddled with the shards, so he got caught short before he got to the city.
Can I search the body to see if there's any sort of notes or anything on it?
Yeah, he's carrying a. He basically has a very particular type of satchel on him. So it's tied. It's physically tied to him, and it's tied in such a way that the only way to take it off him would be to cut the knot, as it were.
Okay. I cut the knot.
Okay. What do you call it? The tube that he's carrying has been wax sealed and things like that. So it wouldn't take much effort to break it, but once the wax has been broken, then whoever this message is intended for will know that it's been broken into.
Does this guy seem like an important person, or like is he just like a general courier? Like,
as far as you can tell, he's just a general courier. Couriers don't necessarily wear uniforms, as it were, but they do dress in very similar fashions.
Just too late to say anything. Sorry, I'm not there. So I'm sorry.
I'm gonna take it back to the group and discuss like what we should maybe do with it. Like if we should open it to find out who it was for, or if we should just keep a hold of it and try and give it to whoever he was looking to give it to.
So what do the rest of you have to say about that?
Does he does he present any symbols or an address, a name?
Yeah, is there any sort of like mark or anything on the wax seal, or?
No, it's basically just a leather tube that has been closed and then wax put around the opening to sort of lock it into place.
Can the tube be opened elsewhere?
Not without breaking it. If you think along the lines of what do you call it? The plastic telescope tube things, where you sort of twizzle it at the top, pull it up.
Yeah, yeah. I had more in mind the Smarties tube. You know, the old-fashioned Smarties tube.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like we cut out the bottom and we can just pop it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could definitely try, but obviously if you cut out the bottom, then the bottom is cut out.
If Doka was here, he knew what we could do. I'm whatever. I mean, whatever. Whoever was the delivery guy died like almost 2 years ago. Do you think he's even important right now? It's been past lots of times.
No, so the courier was in the town like the night before, and he got caught in the rain.
Oh, I thought he died on. Oh shit!
Do you know what? I'm opening the tube.
Okay.
I was gonna say, what if then we wrote like a friendly note after opening it, being like, "Hi, we found the note open, and we just wanted to be kind and return it." That would be fine, right?
If we smash
Right,
the...
I'm gonna open the tube. I wanna see what's inside.
Okay.
Wait. What about if you actually smash the tube like with the blades, so you can see there's been cut open by the blade? Huh? That's another thing.
Well, I'm gonna see what's inside it first, and then my plan was that if it's like a note or something, I was just gonna roll it back up and put some stab wounds in it anyway. So, yeah, I'm gonna open it first.
Okay. So basically just twist it. You know how these things work. Pull it apart. But instead of there being like a rolled up piece of paper or a solid note, you unfurl what appears to be a long strand of paper-like ribbon that has letters on it. If you basically held it out straight, it wouldn't make any sense to you. The letters are going in a sort of slant to the paper, and so you can't necessarily work out how these would fit together, not without additional study.
I'm sorry, I've got distracted.
Okay.
Can you repeat that briefly again?
Okay, so instead of it being like a rolled up scroll, it's basically a piece of paper which has then been cut into a very long ribbon.
Oh.
With the message written on it. So basically, at some level, the paper would align itself in a sort of circular fashion, which would then reveal what the message is. But without an idea of what's the size of the message would need to be, you wouldn't be able to work out what the message is. But David, you remember these sort of like encryption protocols from your time in the army, and you basically know that the main way of the way that lords communicated these things is that the courier would have an idea of a particular type of pole that the message would need to be wrapped around, like an axe handle, or in most cases, a particular type of banner. The message would be wrapped around it, and the size of the pole would then be the
Dictate what the
key
message
to
was.
solving what the message is.
Okay. I think I'll just keep a hold of the ribbon for now then.
Okay.
I'll just sort of like roll it back up and pop it in my bag.
Okay. So it's now daytime. You've all breakfasted and gone through the necessities. So do you just want to carry on your journey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What pace are you going to go?
How sort of fast do we need to be going to make it there?
You could make it in a slow pace day.
What sort of times would we be arriving?
Okay,
Let's
so
see.
if you did a slow paced day, it would take you to the end of the day, so you'd be arriving in the evening or late afternoon. If you were to do a normal day's journey, you'd arrive sort of mid afternoon, so like 3 p.m. Then if you did a fast, assuming that you weren't ambushed, but you would be able to make it probably by lunchtime.
Should we do a normal one?
Yeah, just go normal and try and get there to a sort of reasonable time.
Sure. Okay, could you move yourself to the bridge?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the bridge appears to have taken a lot of damage from the shards, to the point that the stone masonry, which would have been impressive back in its time, has now cracked, crumbled, and has been chipped away in a number of different points. But the bridge itself is made out of stone. So aside from like the pieces of metal that are just like lying around the area, the bridge itself seems suspiciously clean.
Mm.
Like
Like
somebody,
someone's just collect all the shards.
yeah.
Right. Well, people believes in Trolls Bridge anyway. Trolls Bridge.
I'm going to attempt to just sort of move towards the bridge.
Can I do a oof.
Perception, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Ha! 5.
Right. But you don't notice anything about the bridge because your attention is actually caught by a number of objects that are in the water. A number of bodies appear to have been dropped into the water and have been sort of like caught on like the seagrass and bits of rock and stuff like that, and now creating obstacles in the current.
Oh. Do they appear to be there for a long time, or they've been there recently?
You can't really tell, simply because the bodies are all wrapped up in some sort of sheet and then being distorted by the water.
Well, let's say that if a body's been thrown in the water the night before, it will probably still be on the top of the water.
Yep. From here, you can't really you can make that assumption, but you can't really see anything more than that.
Okay. Well, I'll just say to the guys that lots of bodies in the water.
I'm just going to cautiously proceed onto the bridge.
Gonna bless myself. Follow.
Barrel Lizard is going to follow you. Natalie's putting Maya to bed, so she'll be back soon.
No problem. Can we roll sort of like a so this bridge has been damaged, is it purely by the rain, or is there like other things that's happened?
There's an element of wear and tear to it as well.
Okay. I mean, I guess I just sort of proceed
Okay.
along the bridge. I can't see Oh, yeah, we don't see anything but the bodies in the water. So
Yeah, the bridge itself appears to be quite stable, bar where the things have been chipped. But as you get to about halfway across the bridge, but you hear a voice call out from the other side. Is that? I wouldn't do that if I were you.
and why not?
Does he say?
So from behind this pillar, but steps a man dressed in black, but with sort of scarf, face mask around his mouth and a hood. He's holding two very cruel-looking daggers, but his aside from the fact that he is armed, he's not like in a position where he's offering you hostility or anything like that.
Mm.
And who are you, stranger?
That's not important. You're the what are they called? He sort of like taps his head a couple of times with the sort of handle of his dagger. He's like, the alphas. You're the alphas, aren't you?
I guess it's not important what we are.
Oh yeah,
What's
yeah,
it for you?
yeah. I suppose that's fair. Yeah. Let me introduce myself. You can call me Bruce. And put the two guys behind you. That's Alex, and this one's Harper.
And what can we do?
Gonna wave.
But you guys, you're the alphas. You're Scott Birch's new guys, right?
You do seem a tiny bit obsessed with that fact. Is there a reason why?
Well, I don't want this to be awkward or anything like that. But let's just say, hypothetically, you have pissed somebody off, and that pissed off person, whether they're pissed off rightly or wrongly, have hired us to kill you.
Of course.
But I'll be perfectly honest. And he starts pacing, sort of up and down the bridge. We're sort of half-hearted about this situation.
How come? He didn't pay you enough?
Oh no. They paid. Well, they didn't pay me. They paid my boss. A very an amount of money which, between you and me, borders on the obscene. So whoever wanted you dead, wanted you very dead.
How dead are we talking about?
Well,
Dead in pieces or dead in one place?
have you ever heard of a guy called Jasper the Nail?
Jasper?
Jasper the Nail.
No.
Oh no, I don't recognize the name like Jasper.
Well, that's because the people who wanted him dead paid paid us the same amount of money to kill him, and so now nobody knows who he is. That's the level of dead that they want you.
I feel like I'm not easy to forget.
From the alphas.
So, Michaela, what did you say?
Is there not like Justin from the alphas? No. Oh, no, that's Jason. Oh, okay.
Basically, the point is
Do you
that
know-
he's talking about somebody that you've never heard of, and the reason why you've never heard him is because he was killed in such a way people forgot about him.
They've eradicated him completely from
Yeah.
history.
Alright, fair enough.
Do you know what we, quote unquote, did to piss the alphas off? Did to, screw up whoever's paying you?
Well, I was given some details, but not the full picture. Compartmentalization and all that. But well, as I said, I don't want this to be awkward. That we've been hired to kill you. We don't particularly give a crap as to why we need to do that. And to be perfectly honest, my employer, like the head of our group, she also is of the opinion that we shouldn't necessarily try very hard either. So I've got a proposition for you.
Okay.
But we'll make a show of trying to kill you, if that makes sense. We'll have a bit of a song and dance in a lethal capacity, and then we'll very dramatically scamper off and say we tried, but couldn't fulfill the deed, as it were. And oh look, he says very dramatically, and he pulls out a scroll of paper and drops it on the floor. I appear to have dropped something.
Can I roll over in my barrel and go get it?
You would basically have to cross the entirety of the bridge in order to do that.
Am I not there?
Zoom out.
Sorry, is this guy talking?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna roll over in my barrel.
He points his dagger at you. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. So we'll make a show of trying to kill you, and then we go our separate ways after that. And I would just happen to forget about this piece of paper here, and you can draw your conclusions from that however you like.
Can I do a check of insight?
Sure. You trying to see if he's lying or not?
Can I give you this one?
You trying to see if he's lying or not?
Yes.
Okay. But what was your score?
It's 20 nats plus 4, 24.
Okay, so everything from his body language to like the very non-hostile tone of his voice tells you that he is he's very calm and being quite friendly about this whole situation. So he's either like one of those really manically insane sort of people who sees violence as like something along the lines of checking the weather, or he is legitimately telling you the truth about what he intends.
Okay.
And also, given that the fact that he has actually just dropped something on the floor.
What do you get out?
That's a good question, to be perfectly honest. I mean,
Okay, so
I mean,
how would you
I
like to go
don't
about that?
really get anything myself. I mean, I'm just following orders, as it were. But yeah, juicy king country and all that crap. But I mean, living, I suppose, is a good way to go.
Suppose that would make sense.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If we did want to kill you, we could do it very easily. I mean, we wouldn't be having this conversation if we did want you dead. But I'm all for decorum and friendliness and all that. I mean, you don't get yourself into a woman's pants by being violent with her, if you get my drift.
That's
No,
true.
no, I'm sorry, I don't get the drift.
So what do you say? Care for a little haphazardness?
I might missed it, but what's the other option?
So basically, he basically wants to pretend that you guys are going to fight him and his men, and then, assuming that he's telling the truth, he'll then say, "Oh no, they're too strong. Let's get out of here," and basically run away, leaving you guys in peace, having, and they have basically fulfilled their end of trying to kill you.
Okay. I'm not getting any sort of sense that they're lying. We should probably just go along with it, I guess.
So what does he want from us? I mean, yes, I understand, like a little show, but what's the show gonna consist of?
You fighting him.
Fighting him.
Yeah.
Right. Uh, I still don't trust him, but okay, whatever. Whatever.
Well, let's put on a show then, and I'll draw my axe.
All right,
Same.
that's okay. Give me an attack roll. So, which one are you attacking?
I mean, I think I'll go forward to the other end of the bridge.
Sure. Give me an attack roll.
That is a 16.
Okay, that hits.
Did I just roll normal damage?
Yep.
Okay, I need a 12.
Oh, you're rolling attack rolls.
Yeah, no, just him at the moment.
That is 14 damage.
14.
Yeah.
Good throw.
Not bad, not bad, not bad.
Nah, babe.
So the axe like smashes straight into his head, and you've very distinctively drawn blood. And he's like, "Oh, good show, good show." Okay, and then roll initiative, guys.
Alright.
Copied out a couple of my spells on the cards as well.
This guy's weird, and I don't like him.
Just so I
So you do like
Morela's
him,
like, yeah, they're lovely people.
I rolled a 2 for initiative.
Oh no.
Honestly, you just attacked, so it's fair enough.
12
Yeah, realistically, I'm the start of this all.
is the baby pushing all the buttons on your phone.
Yes,
If you turn the screen and lock screen, you can't be doing damage. to
that's
it.
fine. I'm happy for her to do stuff.
I got a
But
14.
14 for Charlotte and McKelly. What did you get?
Ooh, 13.
Okay, McKelly, could you roll again?
If you ask me nicely.
For me.
Pretty please.
For me. And only me.
Well, for you, 18.
18, yep. Alright. And...
You must just be his lucky charm. He's sitting there blowing on his dice mat.
No, I could blow on something else.
Because you asked him to roll his dice again for you and he gets an 18. Maybe I shouldn't have married you.
Okay, right, so... 1, 2...
I don't know.
Three. Okay, David, I hate to say this, but it looks like you're last.
Darn.
Okay,
I
so,
really thought I was
Yeah,
going well with
unexpected.
that one.
okay, so Charlotte, you're up.
They caught up some.
Okay, I'm going to
Who's sitting on?
on the green guy
Sure.
cast inflict wounds, and my hands are gonna like crackle with energy.
Caught up somewhere silly. This is why we tell you to tidy up your puzzle pieces when you play puzzles. Okay?
Oh wait, I have to get closer to them. Oh, this might provoke an attack of opportunity. I have to touch them, so I'll step forward and I'll give them a gentle like, I'm really sorry to do this, and give them a tap on the arm. I shall attempt.
I can't find that piece, but I'll have to do with that.
Does an 18 hit them?
Yep.
Okay, hang on. Oh dear. Oh, I might accidentally kill them, and I don't want to do that. Where's my other D10? There it is.
Yeah,
That
I'm not the only
is
person who loses all my
point.
D10s.
That is 16 points of damage.
16, okay.
Really hope I haven't killed him. And then I'm gonna retreat one other, and then I'm gonna disengage backwards, be like, sorry!
So 16, that will be...
Oh,
I'm just lining all the pieces out because I might be able to find missing. Mine has one.
Okay, so that's... I'm assuming that's your bonus.
No, that is my action.
Okay.
She might have
I can-
multiple actions.
But
Okay.
that's it.
Da-da-da. Okay, so the assassins are basically going to move. So this one is going to jump off of the bridge and he's going to attack you, McKelly.
Yeah, come forward, bitch.
Okay, so he is going to make his... So he's basically got 2 daggers, so he's going to attack you in a flurry of moves. So... both of which hits. So that's...
Oh, he's got a business if you can find him at.
That's 12 damage to you.
Ooh.
Okay. Then the green one is going to attack you, Marilla. Do the exact same thing,
Come at me.
But I'll set up that TV, okay?
but unfortunately he misses. So whatever you did to his arm has sort of thrown him off balance. And then the guy
Sorry.
Bruce is basically just going to rush at you, put Kashan. Does 17 hit?
Nope.
So what was that?
I think he doesn't. I think he's muted as well.
David, are you
Oh,
muted?
I was muted? I don't know why I
See?
was muted. McKelly's ahead of it. No, he's right. That does not hit. I have 19 AC.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright. Okay, so McKelly, you're up.
Hello. All right. How tall is the thing, the little wall on the side of the bridge?
It's about 5 foot.
Hold on, I'm calculating. 5 foot is like a meter and a half. 2 meters.
Yeah, about that.
2 meters is a lot. All right. Okay. I'm just gonna attack him with my usual core stuff and unarmed strikes.
Okay, so if you want to do your unarmed first.
Mm-hmm.
Piece of cheese.
The first 2 are both at 10, and the other one is a 24.
Okay,
with
the
the pull
24
up.
hits.
Is it +1 or +2?
It's +1, I believe.
Right. So it's 4 damages.
So 4 damage, did you say?
Yep.
Alright. Okay, are you going to do anything else?
Do you want to sit on my lap and have a cuddle and go to sleep on my lap?
I wanted to push it down the wall, but I think the wall is way too tall to let it like. So now I think I'm done.
Okay, Natalie, you're up.
I am.
Oh, Nats, that's gonna be really disturbing for you. You can't set the bridge on fire.
Can I? Is it made out of wood?
No, it's stone.
That's fine. That means I can't set it on fire.
Wait, you don't have the skill shatter, do you?
No. 1 second. I'm going to. But first off, I'm going to pull out from my pocket
Oh no.
Here he comes.
something from my little bag of tricks.
Oh no.
What do I throw at the guy? Out comes in my pocket. I pull and throw a giant elk.
Oh god. Who are you throwing him at?
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna like throw it here in
So
front of me.
the square behind you.
No, here, there, yeah. Just checking I can move it. Yeah.
So Danny DeVito the elk comes flying out of your pocket.
Yep. And then I am going
No, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
throw some acid at this dude.
Yep.
Dude.
He needs to do a dexterity saving throw of 12.
Failed, ironically.
One second. He has taken 6 damage, 6 poison damage, and until he uses an action to scrape or wash the acid off, he will keep taking damage.
Sure.
Dude.
Okay, and is that your turn?
Yeah.
Okay, David, you're up.
Alright. What's the sort of damage situation look like? Is the red guy looking hurt, or?
Not particularly. But he's still his sort of like cheery and agile self. He has taken some damage because he's got obviously the burn across his face. But strangely enough, he doesn't seem to be fighting the pain at all. He just seems to just be completely fine with it, as if he's not actually feeling it at all.
Alright. I mean, I guess for the sake of it, I'll just attack him again.
Sure.
I'll roll for an attack. Oh, does 15 hit?
Yep.
Okay, alright. And then... Let's see what we do this time. That's another 8 damage. But I guess if he seems to be sort of enjoying it, I might as well go all out and I'll activate my fire rune as well. So he needs to make a strength saving throw.
Sorry, what was that? I can't hear you over the baby's growling.
So I'm gonna. I've done 8 damage,
Yep.
but I'm gonna use my fire rune as well.
Sure.
So he needs to make a strength saving throw.
Gonna use me fire.
Does 13 save?
It does just. Okay, so he's not restrained, but he is on fire, and he takes 7 damage from that, so 15 damage in total.
15, okay. And he basically just cries out, for God's sake, this is Italian leather. Come on.
Where's Italy?
Hey, you were paid handsomely to kill us. I'm sure you can replace it.
Yeah, this is true. This is true, yeah.
I'm almost on it.
Okay, so is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay, Charlotte, you're up.
Okie dokie. I am gonna cast Guiding Bolt on green in front of me and be like, I'm really sorry if this hurts. As 18 hit.
Yep.
Okie dokie. Um, 15 points of damage. Why do it's so odd feeling bad about hurting someone.
What did you use?
I did Guiding Bolt.
Oh my. Is it not like the one that who comes next to hit him get advantage, or am I mistaken?
No, it's just a flash of lightning essentially that hits.
Alright.
And then you hear Bruce basically just say, you know, I probably should have mention magic is technically cheating, but no, the fireworks makes a good display, so yeah, carry on.
Sorry, I don't mean to break any rules.
This really is something we should have hashed out beforehand.
Okay, is that your turn over?
Is any, yes, because I can't do 2 spells in a go, yes.
Okay. Alright, so... Okay, so... Michele, if you want to say your turn.
Just a second. Yes. Sorry. I'll try to. I still will try to keep this guy out of the breach.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm gonna use. I wanna use a key point to use flurry of blows.
Sure.
So it stacks up to 4 attacks. So it's 21 the first attack. Oh, it's a crit the next.
Yep.
There's a 9, and the last attack is another crit. Oh god, I'm sorry. All right.
I'm really sorry about this, Dush. I'm really sorry. Did that hurt? Dush.
All right. So the oof. Let me calculate everything. 6 damage. The first one is 12. The second one, so it's 18 in total for now. Plus plus 10.
So plus
10. 28 damages.
in total, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And if he's still there, probably yes. He needs to make a dexterity save check. Indeed.
Does 13 save?
Saving throw 12. Yes, so we pushed away by 15 feet.
Okay. Right, so with that, Bruce is basically just going to hold up his hands. Basically go, okay, I think that's enough blood, as it were. But well played, gentlemen. But we'll make our escape, as it were. Assuming, of course, that you're not going to stab us in the back, both figuratively and literally.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think
We're
we're.
not stubby people.
What was that,
I
mechanic?
feel like
I said that we are not the stubby people.
Yeah, so I see. You're much more of the whack, let's throw an Elka people, for some reason.
we don't talk about what the lizard does. She just does things.
I see. Yeah, so I have a guy in my team like that. More the strong, silent, I'm going to murder you because I feel like it sort of person. I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you knew someone like that in your group.
I've known a few in my time.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, shh.
very well played. I'm sort of split between whether we'll see each other again or not. So, I mean, I'll always be glad of your company, but the unfortunate thing is, should we meet again, I will most likely have to kill you. So, in that regard, I hope we never meet again. But until then, I hope we meet again.
Have a blessed day. May Lyria bless you.
Yeah, have a heavenly day.
So these two basically jump over the bridge and disappear. He basically just wanders very casually and in a very swagger-orientated way and goes around this pillar, and then he too disappears.
Okay.
So Danny DeVito basically just so what was the point in that then? In Elvish.
Completely not understanding that the elk's talking. I'm just going to go and pick up the note. I'll let
I
you know,
shall
like,
answer and be like, it was just Even sure to be on.
Okay. So, if you'd like to read that out.
Honestly, it was very weird, I must agree.
If someone wants to read it aloud.
Sorry, I've got the baby, so someone's gonna have to read that.
Will be interested in fish-loving priest.
What an absolute meanie.
Itself was quite stupid. Red Paladin. See, Turek, this is why we should have killed the other paladin.
Killing doesn't prove anything. That could have happened in either way.
If we didn't let him live, he wouldn't have gone back and told them.
Though technically speaking, from what you've read, the priest himself did his part. It was his higher ups who decided to go against what was promised.
Okay, I see what you mean. So, I'm sure that proof of the Red Paladin's treachery is discovered. Okay.
Okay. Does anybody want to give me a history check?
Yeah. Do we know who Archer is?
You
I
have.
have.
Oh, sorry.
I got for history. Do I add anything? Hang on, let's check.
I've done 13. I don't think it's gonna be enough.
I got 18.
I got a 17.
Okay. So those two
Alright.
scores are enough. You don't necessarily know who Archer is, but you have heard the alphas talk about her. The opinion of this person called Archer is very divided. One half of the alphas, most notably Clarissa, want to kill her on the spot, whereas the more cool-headed, so Scott namely, seems to think that Archer is on their side.
Well, I suppose the note provides a little bit of goodwill in our favor, I guess. I guess we'll sort of see how that goes.
Okay. Well, in that regard, if you guys want to give yourself 1,000 XP for fulfilling this task, as it were.
Alright.
Yes.
Which should bring you guys to...
To level 4, yeah, by 16.
Okay. So, shall we basically call it here for today?
We.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
mine
sure.
and me.